Hello and welcome to TNA Top 10 for Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. I'm T Weave. With me, as always, is Allison Faye
Hello.
and Andrew.
What up? What up?
What is there to talk about this week, guys?
Good
Well,
God, I
Anything
first,
don't
happen?
think anything.
somebody cue Sarah McLaughlin because we have reached the end of football season, and
Uh,
we are looking at the eyes of an angel. And now all we need is sad dog commercials for this to work. Terry, because Allison sleeps a lot of times during our football
I
show.
do.
Uh, How fast did this damn season go? Legitimately.
Well, it went real fast up until the playoffs started. Then it crawled.
I knew you were going to say that.
Good
Oh,
Lord.
we're going to get into it. For our fans that usually watch hour two, there will be no hour two tonight. Just a spoiler. We are going to talk national championship football, along with several other topics. But yeah, so fun fact, January 23rd, 1984, Hulkamania was born in the WWE.
Oh
He
wow.
beat the Iron Sheik at Madison Square Garden. Iron Sheik, the most successful transitional champion in the history of professional wrestling, and apparently was right about Hulk Hogan all the time. So, on behalf of deceased Sheiky baby, fuck the Hulk Hogan, and we're starting hot early. Without Hulk Hogan,
Absolutely.
none of us are wrestling fans, and
That's true.
unfortunately, that's a fact.
I don't know. My Mimo would have dragged me into the NWA with no Hulk Hogan. There's no doubt
My
about
great,
that.
my big yaya, my great grandmother. The only English she spoke was Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know if I said it on this show, but I know I said it on Medusa's show. There are three generational talent in WWE once you get past Bruno, and it's Hogan, Austin, and John Cena. So thank you, Bober. We love you. Bober's here. So he said the scheduling has been kind of a problem, and George
Yeah,
is
we're
here
working.
too.
We're
We love
working
it.
George
on
is
that.
here. Just so you know, George is here while he's on the cruise.
Nice,
Oh,
George. The
wow.
commitment to the
Is
brand.
that
We love
like,
it.
He's going to have
yeah?
better internet than me, and he's on a cruise.
So, Allison, when you tagged out last week, Terry's internet crashed twice. And
Oh,
I'm sitting here
God.
doing a monologue.
Oh no, I was asleep, dude. Otherwise, I would have joined. You know,
So
I
to
can
our
barely make it past like 9:30. All right,
so
I'm an
to our
old
audience
lady.
last week, I apologize for you having to
Yeah.
listen to my boring ass soliloquy about how much Terry does for this show. And then he comes
I,
back and I'm like,
yeah.
is your internet done fucking up so we can go ahead and finish this?
We tried to wrap it up quick after that. It was crazy because it was in the
Well, it did.
last
It
15 minutes. It did it
yeah,
twice.
went down twice. And that never happens, never happens to you.
Yeah. I don't know. It's been a piece of garbage, but,
You know
maybe
what
we'll
else is
make
a
it
piece
through
of
this time.
garbage?
What's
This
that?
weather. Who ordered
Oh,
the ice and the snow? I'm displeased with you. Now, the one thing about living in North
our kid.
Carolina, Terry, you can attest maybe because you live farther south than I do. We got 3.1 inches of snow yesterday. Well, night before into yesterday, which is a lot for Goldsboro. It's all gone. It's all gone.
Well, that's good.
Already melted. The roads are a mess. You should see the side of the Supra. Oh, I sent you a picture. It's
Yes,
disgusting.
I already yelled and said, "Go get that baby washed." Oof.
Can't until it warms up
Oh,
because of the water, the
I
temperatures.
know, but the salt
20
eats away.
We're 20 degrees here. It's brine, so it's pretty safe as long as you don't
Okay.
leave it on the car for months on end.
Okay.
Terry, do you have snow in Huntsville still, or is it gone?
No, it's gone. We didn't get any the second round. We got.
Okay.
I think I had 5 inches at my house the
That's
first
what he
time.
said.
That's what she said.
The Gulf Shores you were showing us had snow.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, there were a lot of videos of Gulf Shores having snow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had snow at Outer Banks, which is a destination here in North Carolina, the Atlantic Beach area.
Mhm.
Well, it's the Outer Banks, not the Atlantic Beach, but it's the Atlantic Ocean. Let's put it that way. They had 5.5 or 6 inches of snow there on the beach, and like it's gone. You know, that's the one thing about living in North Carolina. It's gone. You don't like the weather? Wait a few minutes. I promise it'll change.
Yeah, normally down here, if it dips into cold enough to snow, it's going right back up within 24 hours.
Yeah.
it
And our
melts.
deal here is we live close enough to the coast and is the geography of the state that we get ice. We don't get snow most of the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's us too.
Yeah,
But it
I got
snow this
4
time.
inches. I got 4 inches of snow 4 days ago, and it ain't going away anytime soon.
Right.
No.
So that's what happens up here.
It's because you have real winter, as I like to refer to it.
Correct.
And here we're just like, oh my God, it's snowing. Close the schools, close the churches, close the banks. No one's going to work.
Buy
Don't
all the
bother
milk
going
and
to the
bread.
grocery store. Yeah, the bread's gone. You ain't making no damn sandwiches.
I had
Just
2 big boxes of Fruity Pebbles in my pantry, and it took me days to find a gallon of milk.
There you go.
Wow.
Oh, Allison, it
Yeah.
may not be quite the same in Connecticut, but here you can ask Terry. Hurricanes,
Yeah.
severe thunderstorms, if you know you're going to get like a level 2 system that can produce tornadoes, and snow or ice, and there ain't nothing to be found at your Walmart, your Kroger, your Food Line. It's all gone.
No, you can
No.
get whole wheat bread. We people
Yeah.
down here, we're fat people. We don't eat that.
Or
whole
what's
wheat.
the bread, Terry, that's like $6? It's the muscle bread or whatever, the guy
Oh,
with the
yeah.
protein. You know,
Oh my God.
that's always available. Always.
That's so
If
gross.
you want
Yeah,
almond milk, that's available. You know,
Yeah.
like nobody drinking almond.
but there ain't nothing good. I agree.
But yeah, the weather's been all messed up. The kids have been out of school in Wayne County. That's where I live, Wayne County, North Carolina. 3 days in a row they've been out of school, and they got out early.
Wait,
No.
how many days did you guys get off of work?
None.
Exactly.
Got to be there in case somebody wants to take one of those bad boys out for a test drive on the ice.
In the ice and the snow. I did sell a car yesterday. So
Good for you.
ooh, that's nasty, Mike. No
Yeah,
rock
Bubber
salt.
says they've been without rock salt for 3 weeks.
Ooh.
That's what we lose up here too. You guys lose. We get milk, bread, and rock salt up here.
Yeah, so we did rock salt the front porch. We did have to do that, but like I live 10 minutes from work. It took me 30 minutes to get to work yesterday in the Supra.
I
Supra's
still
never
hate
been
those.
in
my
snow
God.
or ice. It's a
Thank
rear
God
wheel
you didn't
drive.
tell me that before you left, because I
Yeah, it's
probably
a
would
rear
have
wheel
had that.
drive car. It does 385 horsepower. So
Oh,
it does not, like if I hit the gas yesterday driving out of my neighborhood, I could have spun some donuts right into the ditch, because everybody's front yard has a ditch in it, because that's how the water drains off the properties. So
craziness.
would have been exciting in the Supra.
No.
No. So I don't know what I hate worse, Hulk Hogan or snow. Probably snow.
I know what I hate worse.
What do you think?
Uh-oh. What is it?
We're gonna jump right into my segment. Okay.
My
I
segment.
hate I'm pissed about something every week, so this is my thing. Every week, every day. Deadwood at work is my topic this week.
What?
What is it?
Deadwood. I call it Deadwood at work. Deadwood
That
is
sounds
an
dirty.
It's I wish it's not. It's the person who holds a position, doesn't do any work, when is asked about said position, that's not my job, but never goes anywhere. It's Deadwood.
Deadwood.
You know, like you have the redwoods that are in the forest forever, hundreds of years. Then you've got Deadwood, which is the same kind of thing, been there for years, ain't going anywhere, but they don't do shit. I have been encountering Deadwood for the last 5 years, and I'm so tired of it, because they hold positions that I'm like, I would like to have that and fix what you fuck up. But no.
Does your office need a Doge department?
Yes, they do.
Hey, because this is our show. In a loud and clear voice, Trump got inaugurated Monday. the weather had no reasoning or nothing to do with the reason that they moved that shit inside. They didn't want the president getting shot on television, ladies and gentlemen. That's why they moved that shit inside.
No question.
This is my position on Donald Trump because we don't do politics here. The man's ego is so big, he would have stood in a foot of snow with a 50-mile-an-hour wind blowing to give the finger to the Democrats. Seriously. He would have stood there and gladly been in a blizzard. But yeah, maybe you need Doge for government efficiency. Although I will say this, we've just added 2 stores at work. We now have 900 plus employees in 2 states and across 5 counties. And there are some of them that could find something else to do.
Right? Right? It's like, please let me help you somewhere else to do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't take it.
My favorite thing.
Go ahead.
My favorite thing is getting put on hold. And then leaving a message. And then calling back. And being put on hold a second time.
Oh.
And then calling back. And being told by that person, well, I never got your message. What number did you call? The one y'all put me on hold.
Oh, wait a minute. That sounds really familiar. That sounds like what I ran into with my reservations to the restaurant.
How did that go, Jerry? What about the reservation? Did you check an email? What about a text message?
I blame Siri because apparently this guy called me back and I never got the message.
I hate that. It's happened.
Was there an email?
What's that?
I said, was there an email?
No email. I called. So the way you make reservations at this place,
not that you would have known.
Leave a voicemail.
He was just setting your ass up. Yeah, not that you would have known.
I'm too tired for this. Leave me alone.
I don't need this abuse. Tell him, Terry, I don't need this abuse. But so they called you back.
Yeah.
Now, did you raise hell with this person or think you were going to have
No. I called again and said, I don't think anybody called me back last week. And I left I was trying to get a reservation and he calls back and leaves another message. And I didn't get the message until I called in to my voicemail. It didn't download it to my phone.
That's so weird.
And then the first one is, he goes, I did call you last week.
Face, foot, mouth. Have we met?
But hey, we worked it out and we're going to have some dinner and it's going to be good.
Speaking of phone etiquette, before we move on.
Yes.
I had a deal in for funding, and all that means is I've sent them the transaction, all the paperwork's legally executed. Now you pay me my money, pay the dealership the money for the car. So it was in funding for 4 days, and they said they needed 2 forms. Well, the forms were in the electronic packet, so I resent them. And then it sat in there for 5 days. Day 1, didn't bother him. Don't want to be a jerk off and be like, hey, be yelling at people. Day 2, I sent them a message. Their preferred method of communication is an electronic message. Not an email, but an electronic message is how they communicate. Didn't hear anything. Day 3, I was off. Came back thinking the deal would be funded. It was not. Day 4, I sent a second message that said, following up with my first message, what more do you need for this transaction to be closed? 5th day, nothing. I call in 7 minutes after they open. The phone rings and rings and rings. It puts me on an automatic hold, and you get the hold music and the somebody will be with you. Somebody will be with you. Somebody will be with you. 10, 15 minutes of this before it suggests I leave a voicemail. Hang the phone up. Call the rep. The rep does not answer the phone. The rep for the bank does not answer the phone.
Jesus.
So y'all know me well enough to know where I'm at right about now. I wait another hour, hour and a half, and I call back to the bank, this credit union. And this lady answered on maybe the second ring and probably regretted that. And I said, can you explain to me why a transaction with someone with perfect credit and no debt and all of the properly executed forms is sitting in your funding queue with 2 messages attached and no response from your department? Well, we've been kind of backed up, but if you hold on just a second, I will review your documents. That looks fine. That looks fine. She kept me on the phone another 7 minutes going through everything that had already been cleared. And then says to me at the end of the call, I just took care of your funding. Is there anything else we can help you with? You could have done it 5 days ago. Answer your messages. Hang up the phone. If I don't call you, if you call me, send me a text or leave me a voicemail, I will call you back because it drives me crazy when messages go unanswered.
I'm not going to say it.
But I had a very strong dad voice.
Ooh, good for you.
Earlier this week. Yeah, I was fuming.
Impressive.
Well, you guys aren't going to be impressed with this. So, well, you will be impressed with the first part. I had an email request on Monday that I read at work. That part you'll be impressed with.
What happened?
I haven't replied to it yet.
Okay, all right.
Well, there's the second part. Yeah. There's the other foot. Quick thing, and let's move on. Terry, have you updated your iOS to the way it sorts your email now?
So
Your Gmail.
I updated my
completely
iOS to 18 a few months ago, and it was like the worst thing I did all year. My phone is complete crap now, and I'm going to have to get a new one.
So I updated mine, and all of a sudden now I've got my quote primary inbox.
Mhm.
And then, like, if Amazon sends me something, it's got its own little designation.
Yep.
And like when we did the parking passes we got for spring training went to a different designation. It depends on who sends it to you. It's auto sorting it for you. I am not sure how much I like this personally, but because I have to go to another screen or tab to be able to see those messages.
You can set it so you see everything on one tab.
Yeah,
That's
at
what
the
I
very
do.
end. Yeah, I know.
That's what I do.
I found that out yesterday.
I'm not a big fan of the going back and forth.
Yeah, I was highly annoyed.
Yeah. Join the club.
But it's also the last 8 days without the baseball.
Is that really all there is?
Well, February, their catchers
Fucking
and pitchers
beautiful.
catchers and pitchers report February 10th through the 14th.
Look at these beautiful people.
Oh my God. CC,
So happy.
Suzuki, Wagner.
So I was looking for a picture. There are technically 5 people being inducted, and Dave Parker is one of these people, and that is a well-known name. And there's another guy, I can't remember his name. He was a coach or something. But these are the 3 that got voted in by the main group. That's CC Sabathia, Ichiro Suzuki, and Billy Wagner.
I mean, I grew up with CC, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Ichiro. So I'm going to tell you a little story. I loved Ichiro from the day he started playing after Japan here. When he was with Seattle, I actually got to see a game sitting right next to the Mariners dugout. And he and I had a little interaction. He didn't speak English back then, really almost at all. But he was such a gracious guy. And I mean, the man has a sushi roll named after him. Okay. Come on. In the park.
So Bober points out, wow, a Pirate going into the Hall of Fame. I'm putting my money on he won't go in with a Pirates hat.
No.
So, because I'm the numbers guy, Suzuki career 311 batting average, 509 steals, 10 times All-Star, 10 times Golden Glove, second player to win the Rookie of the Year and the MVP inside of his league. Batted 350 the season the Mariners won 115 or 20 games and was the driving force behind that. And as you guys said, spent 8 or 9 years in Japan before he ever had a crack at the big leagues. Roki's not
amazing.
spending 8 or 9 years in
No.
Japan.
Nope.
So I shared, since we're talking about Japanese baseball players, I shared Roki's introduction to Dodgers baseball. And the poor guy couldn't even barely keep it together. He was so overwhelmed emotionally. But he'll be a great addition for the Dodgers. That's just a juggernaut over there. Somebody cue Godzilla. But Suzuki, Mariner first, Yankee second. That seems to be the pattern. You know, Allison, there's haters out there. Haters that he wasn't a Yankee because he wasn't a Yankee first.
I'm sorry. No, that's bullshit.
I don't think that really matters.
That doesn't work that way.
Sports, because anymore, especially the way everything works, is very few people stick with the team their entire career.
That's like saying Giancarlo is a Marlin.
Yeah.
And not a Yankee.
Yeah. But
Mike was a Marlin.
Mike was a Marlin. There you go.
Correct. Hey, up until Monday, he could identify as whatever he wanted to identify.
That's
and
correct.
It's Giancarlo Stanton, not Mike. Okay. So
Up until Monday.
You're welcome. We're back to two genders.
So one thing about Sabathia, I've got to say that obviously the stats are great, but as far as teammates go, he gave up a lot of money. I think they ended up paying him, but he had a huge bonus if he pitched a certain amount of innings or something. Do you know the details of this, Allison? And
he didn't do it.
And he didn't do it. He threw at a guy and got tossed from the game and was like an inning away from getting.
Yep. But it was
$500,000
solidarity. Yeah.
I think they paid him anyway, if I remember.
Yeah,
correctly.
we skipped one important part, Terry, on Suzuki, and then we've got the numbers on Sabathia.
Mm-hmm.
The number for Suzuki: 99.7% of the votes. One holdout to make this unanimous for Suzuki, and whoever that was genuinely should be ashamed of themselves. Genuinely.
Didn't that happen with? Was it Derek Jeter or Mo? It was one or the other.
Jeter.
Yeah, same thing.
I think it happens with everybody, but somehow Rivera was unanimous. I know Greg Maddox.
Mariano. Okay.
Yeah. Maddox wasn't unanimous, I don't think.
Well, and Jeter, you got to be careful with the Mariano talk. He is under the suspicion of hiding and concealing.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
I'm just talking about baseball. That's it.
See, that's called compartmentalize. We can love the baseball player. If he's a shitty person, he's a shitty person. But he was.
I think there's more to learn there. Probably.
That's like David Ortiz. I hate him as a baseball player, but I love him as a person. Like he is a great philanthropist. But you put him in a Red Sox uniform and nope, get away.
It's called compartmentalization. Anywho, Suzuki, shame on you. Sabathia is voting 86.8%. Okay. And there was some talk about how he didn't have as many wins and whatever, but 251 wins, 3,557 and 1/3 innings pitched from 2000 to 2001 to 2019, the most innings of any pitcher and the most since any debuted in 89, 3,093 strikeouts, one of 15 pitchers with 3,000 strikeouts, 250 wins, and one of only 3 lefties to ever do it.
Wow.
Oh, and the originator of the dad bod in professional sports. He made sure that Bulk threw that curve and slider.
And truth be told, he had lost weight at one point and his stats went down. He gained weight back up and bam, he was right back.
Genuinely natural muscle mass is what that is.
I was so happy about that.
Yeah. The dieting can adversely affect your ability.
That's correct.
There was some story about Glasnow, the pitcher, and I think he started eating healthy instead of eating junk, and he started pitching like shit.
Yeah.
The Golden Glove, World Series, is it Tyler Glasnow?
I don't know.
Whatever his name is. The dude with the long hair, real thin guy. Anyway, doesn't matter. Up last, Billy Wagner, another closer.
Tyler Glasnow, you're correct.
Tyler Glasnow. Thank you, Terry. Billy Wagner, third in all-time saves at 422. One of the people he
Wow.
did not beat was Mariano Rivera. 7-time All-Star, 1,196 strikeouts in
Ooh.
903 innings as the
Wow.
closer. He was known for a fastball slider combination and had the highest strikeout rate for pitchers with 900 innings or more at 33.2%.
All right.
Opponent's batting average, 186, ERA 231, best for a left-handed pitcher in the live ball era. So
Very
even though he's wearing an Astros uniform in that picture Terry found, shame on you, Terry. You should have found the Braves picture. He was a Brave as well.
Yeah,
And
we should have had
wasn't he
Yankee.
a lot of
Brave.
people are Braves at some point.
yeah, wasn't he a Philly too or something?
He's been. I was looking to see the list of teams. Looks like he was a Brave, a Red Sox, a Met, a Philly, and an Astro.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
All the teams we hate, Allison.
Yeah.
It's a mutual admiration society. But no, this was great for them. And it is Hall of Fame time. We can spend 3 minutes on this. Put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame already.
Yeah.
My opinion.
I agree.
He's a gambler, maybe a shitty person outside of
Who
baseball,
isn't?
but Charlie Hustle, he was. And even, what was he playing into his 40s? You weren't getting people to
Yeah.
play as hard as Pete Rose played
Right.
because he loved baseball. So just put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, he was a player manager.
Yeah.
When was the
Who
last time
believed in
you saw
himself
that?
and his team.
Yeah.
And they won a World Series. And guess what? The Reds ain't been back since. So
Good point.
maybe you all ought to break the curse.
That's a really good point.
And look, the Reds had King Griffey Jr. in the back half of his career, and he's like top 3 or 4 home runs and probably had the most beautiful swing baseball's ever seen.
Mhm.
So get the hell out of here. And they couldn't do nothing with him either. So anyway, I'm off my
I'm
soapbox.
honestly, if they made a big impact, if they had a lot of stats, put them in. I mean, I
Yeah.
know there's the steroid stuff too. I don't care.
Shit,
They
they won't
are
put
huge.
A-Rod in.
They are a
They won't-
huge part of the story. Go ahead and put them in there. I'm
Terry, I
done
know
with
you're not a
them.
Yankees man, but they won't put Alex Rodriguez in the Hall of Fame.
That's right.
And you
Andrew
look at
Jones.
Alex Rodriguez statistically,
Mhm.
Andy Pettit won't put him in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
And he's as good of a pitcher as Sabathia or Wagner,
And he got it done really well in the playoffs.
and considerably the greatest Yankees pitcher in the playoffs yet was what I was going to say, but you
Oh,
stole
did
my
I
thunder.
step on your toes?
Oh.
It's okay. But in the playoffs, it was him and it was Mo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a reason they won the World Series. So,
This is true.
but yeah, pitchers and catchers, February 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th.
Ober, we're gonna see your Pirates play.
Yes, we are. Maybe we'll get to see Skeens, but probably not. But
Probably not. But you never know. Maybe.
they might put him up against the Yankees, but I think they're waiting for opening day. Bober has a point. The Yankees open with Pittsburgh March 27th or 8th, whatever opening day is. Skeens Cole is the match, more than likely.
Yeah.
But the Pirates don't have a chance otherwise because they suck as an organization. It's not because they don't have talented baseball players. No, the Pirates are horrible. He'll tell you they're horrible. He and I have talked about this at length, that their owner thinks he's a super genius and he stiffs all of his players out of their bonuses, and then they want to get the hell out of Pittsburgh. So ours just throws money around until he decides not to, and then sends Aaron Boone on a buying spree where he actually built a better team than keeping a $765 million hitter. No offense, Juan. That's just the way it is. No. We're going to talk about wrestling, or are we going to keep talking? I can talk about baseball. I got Terry's
No,
book.
let's go to
Well, no.
wrestling.
No,
Oh,
we're
what?
not going to wrestling.
Oh, okay.
We're going
Oh,
to
yeah.
football. Yeah, you
This
know,
happened.
we had a hold on. We texted this earlier. And you are correct, Andrew, when you said maybe or something. I said, yes, I will put all the things in the right order.
Yeah.
So here's the right order. National
right order is-
championship game. The reason we don't have another show is this is the only thing we have to talk about right now. Ohio State beats Notre Dame 34-23, had a huge lead on them. A little bit of life for Notre Dame in the second half. It looked like they were going to come back, but it didn't happen.
What a great opening drive by Notre Dame to set the tone
Yeah.
for this game. 17 plays, 7 points. They didn't come up empty. They took 10 minutes off the clock. How do you neutralize Chip Kelly's offense? You don't let him get on the field. Well, when he did get on the field, they maximized their minutes. They showed some different looks Notre Dame wasn't prepared for. Notre Dame's defense, I have never said this, was out of position a lot of this game. In the chess match, Al Golden versus Chip Kelly as the coordinators, along with the players, Notre Dame lost the chess match, and they lost the football game because of it. Ohio State, we knew going into this game, Terry, much better athletes. Much better athletes. Because the caliber of when there isn't a lot of division in the upper echelons of college football athletes. And then there's Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, Oregon. There's those particular athletes.
Yeah.
Notre Dame didn't have somebody to match up with Jeremiah Smith. They didn't have somebody to go toe-to-toe with the running back. They didn't have someone to take Sawyer on as a one-on-one block, and it showed. Al Golden, their DC, is off to Cincinnati as the DC. He was there as the linebackers coach for Zach Taylor, who was a former Nebraska quarterback, by the way. Got that in there just for y'all. But Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman, he's a 39-year-old coach, and he has taken this program to the national championship game in his third year, beat a very good Penn State team, beat an Indiana team, beat a Boise State team. Or no, he didn't beat Boise. Who did he beat, Harry? They beat Indiana.
Indiana was the first game. And then, good Lord, have I forgotten this already?
That's what I'm saying. It was Indiana, and they beat Penn State. But who was the third?
It was such a lengthy
Who was
playoff.
the one in the?
I'm holding it. Okay. So Notre Dame beat Indiana and Georgia. Oh my goodness, how did we
Georgia?
forget
How did I
Georgia?
forget Georgia? Well, Georgia was very lackluster this year. So yeah, when you go Indiana, Georgia, Penn State, you don't really have anything to cry about. And this is the last thing I'll say about the playoff thing. All of the crybabies, conference champion didn't win the national championship. Listen, bitch. How many times has a conference champion not won the national championship in the college basketball playoff?
Right.
A lot.
And for the Michigan fans, I mean, just because you beat somebody and they win the national championship, don't go whining, acting like you did better. I've been there. Trust me, I'm an Auburn guy. It happens.
I will say this. Nebraska, unlike Notre Dame, held Ohio State one third down, only 21 points, and we gave them opportunity. We are a better team than Notre Dame by football logic. That's what that means, Terry. Football logic.
All right.
Football.
But no, seriously, the playoff worked the way it was supposed to work.
Yeah.
It's not – if the conference champions couldn't win their first games, that's their problem. It was pretty cool, honestly, that 5, 6, 7, and 8 advanced to the semifinals, and then we end up with Notre Dame and Ohio State. I don't know. I didn't really care. Now, the one thing I will say is there's 22 million people to watch this game. Apparently, that's down 12% from last year.
Yeah.
And the most watched game in the Ohio State or in the playoff era was the first one, which makes sense. But they say they also had 100 million homes watching the game. So this time, or availability, this time they've only got 48 million homes available to watch the game. So I don't know that really matters. I know there were a lot of people that weren't going to watch the Ohio State Notre Dame national championship game because they were crying. So, man, that's your problem.
I watched wrestling.
Well, I'm going to watch a football game. But, we're going to watch wrestling because that's what we do. But good for Ohio State, number 3 in this century, and the third coach to do it. Tressel, Meyer, and now Ryan Day. So,
congratulations to the Buckeyes. I mean, you can say whatever you want to about them having 2 losses going into the playoffs, but they turned it on and they dominated through 4 games in the
And they
playoffs.
dominated Tennessee, Oregon. I just lost it. Who'd they beat last week?
Let me
Tennessee,
bring it
Oregon.
back up.
Yeah, they dominated Tennessee, Oregon,
Tennessee, Oregon, Texas.
Texas, and Notre Dame. So nobody gave it to Ohio State either, Terry, was my point.
Right.
It was not a gift. So anyway, good for the Buckeyes. At some point, we're going to do a way too early to call season, but Joe Klatt on that topic is absolutely ridiculous, thinking Penn State's number 1 team.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Everybody's got crazy picks. Like Andy Staples, their first, like the on 3 top 10, first way too early top 10 had Auburn at number 10, which I just laugh at. He moved them down to 11. And then you get Joel Klatt, what I sent you today, puts Penn State at number 1.
Number
This is
1.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Even I know that's not right.
Well, the problem is the coach. Like, they got all the returning players, but James Franklin cannot win the big game. You know,
Right.
he beat a couple good teams, but he just, whatever that is on him, he can't shake it off. So, anyway.
Now let's move to wrestling.
Enjoyable football season, Terry. That's what I will say. I mean, we were joking about it. It's hard to believe it's already done. But, you know, give it a few months and we'll be previewing everything else that's changed again. So,
and when there's news along the way, we will break into this show.
Incorporate it here, yeah.
Oh, there is news because we talked about Tom Allen did go to Clemson, by the way. Left Penn State, the defense. He did end up going to Clemson. So, it was something big. I don't know why you make a lateral move like that. Penn State's got a pretty good defense. But whatever. Maybe he thinks that and Franklin can't. Who knows? Anyway, so that's enough fighting on the field from the Fighting Irish and the Buckeyes.
Let's talk about fighting in the ring.
Yeah. Allison is like, I'm ready to talk now, boys. You get football shit over.
I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to have a lot to talk about because I fell asleep in the middle of both of the wrestlings this week.
Don't worry.
You got the first part of AEW, that first.
Yeah. Oh, this part I definitely got.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was not upset to see Osprey and Omega joining forces at all. At all. Very happy.
Sure.
Versus Fletcher and Takeshita, right? They're going to meet.
Takeshita. And then the two biggest jobbers in wrestling history, and Brian Cage and Lance Archer. And I don't mean like biggest jobbers disrespectfully. I mean physically, they are the biggest jobber the history of wrestling has ever seen. Because all they're going to do is lose. Those two guys are hired by this company to lose matches. And for some reason, because they're big, Tony thinks it means more. Also, I'm going to take exception with this pairing of Omega and Osprey. Now, here's why. Settle down. Here's why. We all knew they were going this direction.
Yeah.
And if you listen to the AEW mouth breathers and neck beards out there, this is the 2025 Mega Powers. Bitch, stop. Okay. In no way are these guys close to Hogan and Savage. So let's not even pretend that's a thing. Number one. Number two, you have 3 weeks before your big event that is no longer a pay-per-view, was teased as a pay-per-view, but it is a Saturday show.
It's not?
The Australian show is a special Saturday event, and because of the time difference in Australia to the United States, it's going to be at 10 in the morning here.
Oh, it's not even going to be taped.
Or on delay. Yeah, or a tape delay. And then the third thing, that segment last night was 17 minutes long.
Yeah.
And you had 3 weeks of television left. You have the Ring of Honor, which nobody cares about, but you have 4+ hours of obligated, paid for time slots. And you decided to jam 3 weeks of creative into 17 minutes. And after the fuck you from Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega. It's now, we're going to be friends and we're going to wrestle him. Get the hell out of here. Lazy booking. That's lazy booking. Lazy booking.
Oh, Lord.
But tens of people were cheering them on as they said.
Yeah.
They had 2,600 people in that little arena in Knoxville. Now, I get the idea that Knoxville, or that the smaller arenas look better on TV. They got the shot of Kenny, that shot from behind where they're looking into the audience. That's a cool visual. This is a company that put 15,000 people in arenas, though. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
They have fallen off.
Yeah.
And the problem I have, moving right into the show, Allison,
Yes.
is you have Double J at 58 years old going toe-to-toe with Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
I just
still,
don't.
Terry, I know you don't always watch the product, but it is still going on.
I saw this. Yeah. Yeah.
And Karen, oh, Jeff, that's not who you are. Get out of here. This man broke guitars over everybody, including Moolah and Mae Young. Moolah probably deserved it, but Mae, I don't know, although she likes that kind of thing. But these old people, old wrestlers, you've got Cope over 50, Christian over 50. Who were we just talking about? Jeff Jarrett over 50. Billy Gunn is 60 plus. Chris Jericho is 50 whatever.
Don't even get me started.
Sucking up television. Meanwhile, on the same roster, Omega, Ospreay, Fletcher, Takeshita, Okada. And that's just those guys. But we're not going to push those guys.
I can't.
You want to push Will Hobbs for a week? Oh, and by the way, there's this guy named John Moxley who's your world champion, who's my age, running around somewhere. So the point is, you've got plenty of talent and you choose to use the old guys. And by the way, Private Party losing the tag belts last night was best for business, but they lost them to two guys pushing 50.
Yeah.
That are heels that are getting cheered.
I don't.
Because they're not
understand.
heels. They're not heels. Like, that doesn't work. Good versus evil is a very basic concept, but in professional wrestling, it doesn't work the same way it used to. Doesn't work the same.
I agree.
So, yeah, I had a really pissy time watching. I was hate watching AEW last night. And then the Death Rider storyline, it's the NWO, but it's a bad version of it where they keep beating everybody up.
Evil version.
Allison, I need a hair rating for Wheeler because it has got to be atrocious.
No, he's like close to a -2 at this point.
I mean, between the beard and the hair, you can't tell where one starts and the other ends.
I have my bad hair of the week coming up. So hold on.
That's why you gotta. That brings me back to Hogan. You could definitely figure out where the beard and the hair ended with Hogan because they were completely opposite colors.
Correct. Yes, very good point.
Terry, he's doing everybody a favor. Oh, and then the end brawl where they beat up the Rock and Roll Express and they had FTR tied up, the Death Riders. So they're gonna hit Ricky Morton with the concerto because he loves that shit.
Look who's here, guys.
Amy's here. I've got my shirt on, Amy. By the way, here's a doctor update. I didn't call again today. The office.
You're the worst.
Still snowed in and the phones are down. But the Death Riders take out old ass Rock and Roll Express, who nobody really knew was there in the building, and they.
I haven't watched that part. I watched like the first.
I didn't see that
so I
part.
haven't quite.
Yeah.
I
know, and I'm like,
Ricky Morton's laying on the floor, and everybody is trying to figure out who the hell is laying on the ground. You do your nose strip. Yeah.
We need to stick with Thursday night because Bober comments.
Ricky Morton. I know. Ricky Morton hit on my mom. I'm going to send you guys a picture.
It's an attempted storyline, Bober. I will choose my words more carefully. And then Ricochet and Swerve. Oh my god!
Just be done. I'm done with Ricochet.
Swerve deserves so much better than
I agree.
Bad promo Ricochet with the flippy and a pair of scissors. I mean, he burned a man's. His house was burned down, and that was really good matches last year, and now they bumped him down because they think he can get a good match out of Trevor. but like Swerve is beyond Ricochet. And that's the part of this. Some of this I don't like. Like
Right.
Swerve did not have to lose to Bryan Danielson. Should not have lost to Bryan Danielson for the world title. And they killed it. And then you got Hangman crying about old ass Christopher Daniels. Look, I like the Fallen Angel as much as anybody, but Hangman's character is not that complex. He's just some wannabe Stone Cold Steve Austin, for lack of a better way to say it. No friends, don't trust anybody, with better hair. So there you go, Allison. Better hair.
Better
So-
hair. I like it.
She's over there reading something. I can
No,
tell.
I'm trying to find the picture of Ricky Morton and my mom, but I can't find it.
Oh, well, you'll have to send it to us. Ricky
will.
Morton went over a lot of times on the Rock and Roll Express tour. The Rock and Roll was it the Super Sizzler tour? The Rock and Roll.
Super Summer
He was a
Sizzling
very
Tour.
nice guy. I
Yeah,
like
and
him.
he's a showman too, and I bet you he loved being on camera yesterday.
Oh, absolutely, no
know?
question.
He can't help himself. But yeah, that's AEW in a nutshell.
That's
They
good.
just continue to march for. Oh, we missed Tony and Mariah. Tony Storm, who has no recollection of who she is. She was never timeless, which I love this
I
because
think that's great.
because it's such
Honestly,
a great ruse, and she's going to screw Mariah if they do it right. It's going to be fantastic.
if she doesn't like start trying to act or have cameos in movies or something, she's missing out. 'Cause she's good at this.
She's very good at this. And the one
Yeah.
thing that makes Tony Storm so good is her commitment to the character.
Mhm.
100%. She is
Mhm.
committed. She is invested. And you don't see that from all these guys. John Moxley looks like to me he's playing a bad cosplay Joker when he cuts a promo. Well, AEW, I think I might do something crazy tonight. What the fuck's this guy talking about? He just beat up 2 representatives for AARP and the Rock and Roll Express. They ain't gone over since 2010. I don't know what he's doing, but he does like that methodical, really slow, where he's trying to be crazy or thought evoking or whatever. And you're just like, dude, Mox, we're over it. And I think the Death Riders storyline has run its course personally, unless they can figure out a way to put some zest in it. She is in Queen of the Ring. Yes, we
They
know
need a-
Mildred. We're very
I didn't
well
know that.
aware.
They
Yes.
need
You
they,
were well
they need
aware.
to do like a
Mildred Queen of the Ring too.
they need to do a battle royal if they have enough of nothing but people over age 50.
Oh, they could get it done.
What?
They may have enough.
Well, Shelton and Bobby are right on the edge. No pun intended. You got Cope. That's such a stupid name. 3 weeks later, it's still dumb.
It's so dumb.
Christian Cage, old as hell. You've got Jarrett, Billy Gunn, Chris Jericho.
Jay Lethal.
Jay Lethal's got to be getting up there.
Oh man. I think there's a top 10 list in here somewhere. Let's
I think
talk
so
about that
too.
offline.
I think I
Worst
like
wrest-
that.
Or most wrestlers we don't want to see over the age of.
Or
you know,
that overextended
retire.
their welcome.
Yes, that should retire. Absolutely.
Oh, and then
Flair-
I can
Ric
tell the
Flair can
AI
be
to
on
have
that
like
top of
somebody
that
hold up a
list.
sign, please retire
Yes.
or something.
That's so good.
Oh,
All right. I think we've got it.
And then we had the Jericho segment, which Allison loved. So there's
Speaking of
No.
overextending your welcome,
Time for another drink?
always.
always. Terry,
All right,
how's
let's
Strike
switch.
January?
Do we want to switch to the other wrestling now?
The good wrestling?
The good wrestling?
We're gonna
Which, by
talk.
the way, hold on. Before we go to the good wrestling and what we're going to talk about, I would like to note that the worst hair of the week by a landslide was Kofi Kingston.
What?
Okay.
He shaved off his mustache. Just
Well,
the mustache. And he's got this weird ass freaking beard.
I gotta look this up.
You gotta look it up because I lost my shit when I saw it on Monday. I'm like, no. I believe I tweeted him. Please no. Stop now.
What the hell
that's
was you doing?
fantastic.
Oh, I saw you tweet. Please no. I had no idea.
That's what it was
doing.
for. It was for his facial hair. He looks like a
Okay.
fool at this point.
Wow.
I know, because I like his hair. His hair is great. His facial hair, done, over.
We ready for the graphic now?
Yes.
All right, we got Saturday night's main event coming up on the 25th.
January 25th, 2025, Saturday.
And that's a
Expect-
Saturday for Saturday
Expect
night.
surprises because this is right before the Royal Rumble. So there may be some guests and some celebrities there like there were the last time. You know how they broke out they took them out of the bubble wrap, the old wrestlers. So the way WWE does it, though, they're not going to put 70-year-old somebody in the ring and have them wrestle. So that's okay. You want to go top to bottom? Bottom to top, since we got Cody and Kevin right there in the center. Pretty sure what the most important thing happening Saturday is, Terry.
Well, I would say since it's Saturday night's main event, and the old school way of doing things was main event first, why don't we go in that order?
Jey Uso versus the Ring General. Allison, your thoughts on main event Jey and his yeeting versus
Can't hate it. He sticks to it. He's got a good look, but I don't think he's taking that belt from Gunther.
Hell already froze over because Trump won the second election there in Washington was below 32 degrees. On no planet,
No,
Earth or otherwise, does Gunther lose this match.
no. He's going to need a good storyline with somebody. It's just a matter of finding out who that somebody is.
The problem is, I think, Gunther had a really great Intercontinental run, and he was packaged as a wrestler, and he was this, you could push him and you could knock him down, but you were never going to even come close to beating him. And I think they've booked him in jeopardy a little too much. They've got to find the traction getting to WrestleMania for the Ring General. He's got to be part of the formula factored in. Jey Uso is going to get a crowd pop. He's going to get the babyface reactions. He's a decent enough wrestler. I still stand by my position. He and his brother are a better tag team than they are singles wrestlers. Again, it's just an opinion. But I would really like to see starting Saturday, that it not be WWE, but it be, or not be Gunther, but it be WWE that gets the Gunther train back on the tracks.
My dad says it should be Cena.
And that's the rumor right there.
Really? No.
Hustle, loyalty, respect. Yeah, it's one of the
rumor?
rumored possibilities along with Cody.
I mean, I have a question, and because I don't know the rules for the what does Ric Flair have? He has the streak, or not the streak. He's got the record, right?
So he is recognized as a 16-time world champion, unrecognized 21-time world champion.
Well, no. Here's my question: does the NXT championship count?
No.
Okay. Then that answers my question, because I could have seen him showing up in NXT and maybe winning there. Okay.
Yeah, no, the NXT title is not one that they count inside that count. Right. They just call him the former NXT champion. But Flair claims 21 wins because he and Harley flopped when they went overseas in 83 and 84. They dropped the title to and from each other, and I believe he dropped the title to one of the Von Erichs overseas as well. If Dave is around, he can tell me if that's true or not. But it was unrecognized. It was unacknowledged. And then he dropped the title in Japan, and they did that Super Brawl thing in 91 that was kind of weird.
That is weird.
But they didn't recognize the drop here in the United States. They did in Japan. So it was very strange. But there's 2 titles on this picture that matter. Well, there's 3.
Wow.
But the next one over is probably, it's not going to be my favorite match. But looking at this card, it's probably going to be my second favorite match, and I have a reason for that. Rhea, Nia, this didn't take long to get going.
Yeah.
I mean, Nia attacks her Monday, and here we are Saturday, you know?
Let's get them together. I mean, these are beasts against each other here. and they
Yeah,
need.
I
Jerry, you never
agree.
gave your opinion on Gunther. What is your thought?
Well, I
Gunther
think
did?
I think it comes down that match comes down to Jey Uso's going to get a crowd pop every time. I don't see him winning a match like this. I see him winning maybe Money in the Bank or the Royal Rumble. That will be where they boost him up somewhere.
Yeah.
But a match like this, he's just not going to win.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So Rhea versus Nia. They've gone this way before, I believe. You know, the irresistible force, the immovable object.
Mhm.
It's a nice way to get her out of Alexa Bliss business, or not Alexa Bliss. God, the other blonde, Liv Morgan. I've got Alexa
Morgan.
Bliss on the mind because
Well,
news broke that she's not
speaking
doing
of-
her contract. Yeah.
Wait,
Huh?
she's not renewing her contract?
Mm-mm.
Oh, damn.
Interesting.
Her team reached out to WWE wanting to renegotiate with a little more money and some better perks, and she's been out so long between Bray dying and the baby that they wanted her to continue working her old contract and do her makeup time, and it looks like right now they're at an impasse.
I fully expected to see her at the Royal Rumble. That
She is a Triple H girl. They're going to work this out. I mean,
Okay,
I have
good.
every confidence that she's going to be back in WWE.
Okay.
Because she's one of Triple H's players. Like when he was running NXT, the black and gold, that's where you saw Alexa Bliss come up. And then it was really Vince that screwed her up with the whole Bray Wyatt, Sister Abigail, WrestleMania
Yeah.
nonsense, you know.
I'll be honest. I want to see her come back because I want to see her paired with Rhea.
Now she's a small wrestler that can make Rhea or Nia, because she's done it before, look very, very good.
Yep.
And Rhea and Nia, Nia Jax gets a lot of shit for being a bad wrestler because when she was heavier and
That was
greener, she hurt
Yeah.
people.
Yep.
That isn't the case anymore. She has
No.
helped elevate Tiffany Stratton. She had a
Mhm.
great program with Bailey. Her and Candice LeRae are highly entertaining together. What do they call her? The what pixie? Johnny Gargano's wife. The
Oh yeah.
something pixie.
I don't remember. She wears wings. Oh.
Yeah, but the point being that Nia has really done a nice job as a veteran elevating other talent, even if that talent like Bailey is a veteran. Tiffany Stratton wasn't, and Tiffany Stratton looked very good against Nia, and then follows it up with Bailey. Granted, she is one stitch away from a damn what do they call that when Janet Jackson did it? Wardrobe
malfunction.
She is
Yes.
one bad stitch away from everybody seeing her boobs on national television. But so we got Terry's attention. He said, wait a minute.
I was looking
Hold on,
something
let
else,
me
yeah.
look it up. Hold on.
Wait a minute. What are we doing?
But when she did that moonsault, I was like, oh my God, they're gonna flop out on her. Hopefully those things are strapped down. Very gorgeous woman. She hits her move, she hits the moonsault, 3 in the ring. Done. That's Poison Pixie. Thank you, Mike. That's the way you do it, though, if you're going to establish a new talent. This is not establishing a new talent, but I'm very interested to see where Nia and Rhea go.
Yeah, it needs
Because
to happen at some point, and I think it'll be a good match, like you said. It'll be one of the top 2 here.
Well, the one I think that, and I want your guys' thoughts first. I hate when I run out of coffee. I want your thoughts first on the next one, Strowman and Jacob.
I I kind of understand this one. I would much have rather seen Jacob Fatu with somebody a little bit bigger named, personally.
I think Strowman's a big guy that's standing in to get beaten here. And there's not
for
much
what's his name? Bronson Reed, you think?
Well, I just mean they want they
just
want
want
somebody
somebody
to
big.
play this role, and
Yeah.
he's big, so he doesn't have to be impressive because he's big.
So you're saying he's playing the Lance Archer / Will Hobbs role?
Oh yeah, just
Okay.
go in there and get beat.
Yep.
You're a large
The
guy.
thing
Go
is,
get beat.
I would agree with that. But
Oh my God. Bober and I have the same mind.
That's because you're from the Northeast.
Yeah.
I would argue Strowman is better than Cage. and probably better than Archer in his current state because he's not as good as he used to be. But he's been wrestling a very long time. Speaking of somebody almost 50, believe it or not, Lance Archer's like 47 or 48 years old. Started
Yeah, we're the
wrestling
same
in
age.
2021 or 2001. So the deal with the older guys, you could add him to the Battle Royal.
All right.
I want this.
But
to
I will
happen.
say this about Jacob. If it was me booking this and nobody asked, this is almost a bona fide squash match. Strowman gets a little bit of offense in. All of a sudden, Jacob does something, and then it's just on. And this is where you make Jacob Fatu going into the Royal Rumble next week and next Saturday, I guess it is. And then you give him the Diesel spot, the Kane spot, the Big Show spot, the Austin spot, the spot where Jacob Fatu, the Brock Lesnar spot, the spot where Jacob Fatu eliminates one guy, then the next guy, then the next guy, then the next guy, and then
good point.
Then you know who the next guy is? The tribal chief, the one.
He's in it, right?
He is, and then you get the standoff. Then you get Roman Jacob. Because let's face it, by the time Roman gets to the ring, the 2 minutes are going to be up. Once he gets through his entrance, you're not going to have a lot of time. But if I'm booking the Royal Rumble, Jacob gets the spot where he looks like the badass. He gets Roman one-on-one, a la 1990 Warrior Hogan, that standoff, and then you get the next person in. That's what I would do. But again, nobody asked me. I'm available for booking. Call me. We'll get this figured out. But again, that's what I would do.
All right. I'm down for that. So what about Sheamus and Braun?
You know all that stuff I said about Braun Strowman?
Yeah.
Copy and paste it onto Sheamus here. I mean, I think it's the same thing.
Yeah,
I think big, muscly guy, but he ain't winning this.
No, God, no. I think this will be less of a squash match, though.
It'll be more competitive. And look, Braun and Jacob might not be a squash match. My suggestion is to make it semi a squash match.
Yeah.
And get Jacob to the point where, I mean, everybody pays attention to him anyway. He's got that magnetism, that natural charisma, the ability to cut a promo. He's a freak athletically in the ring. We've all had the pleasure of watching him wrestle live before he ever made the big time.
Right.
I would go with him, but to your point, Terry, Braun Breaker, again, they love. Same way they love Jacob, the same way they love Rhea, the same way they love Gunther. You're not taking the IC title off of Breaker in this. And Sheamus is a great veteran. He has nothing left to prove. He's gonna get a good match out of Breaker. They're gonna beat the crap out of each other, probably. Yeah. And I would expect some live rounds with Jacob and Braun too. I mean, I don't think they're afraid to throw at each other. But I would say, if in terms of interest, the matches, I think it's Gunther, Rhea, Jacob, and Breaker. Those are your winners. And for me, in order of interest, is what they do with Jacob, then the women, then Gunther, then Braun. And it's not any disrespect to them. These are all going to be fine matches. But this is a house show designed to forward your story. And we had a Raw on Monday. We're going to have a SmackDown Friday. You're going to have this Saturday. Then we go back to Raw, back to SmackDown, and it's Royal Rumble. How much can you do?
I think at some point they've got to have a Saturday night's main event where a big occurrence happens.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's got to be
think it's
big.
anytime soon.
How big are we talking big?
I'm talking when we were doing it in the 80s, you would have the title switch hands.
Yeah, like Cody Rhodes finally losing the title.
Right. I don't see it this time, but because we're about to have the Royal Rumble, unless that's the reason they would do it. But
so you're talking men's title.
Could be the women, but they're not going to take it off Rhea.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It happened in the first one.
Yeah. But You are correct. It did happen in the first one with the women. So that was the one thing that I think I said was a good storyline piece there.
Yeah.
No, it
But
didn't.
I think the
The
men's
women's title changed hands on Raw, not Saturday Night Main Event.
Oh, it was the Netflix?
Mm-hmm.
I take it
Oh,
back. My
that's
bad.
right. That's what
Sorry.
it was. We were reviewing the first episode of
That's what it was.
that. But I think at some point
I'm
there's got to be a
confused.
major happening with a title change. I don't think it's time because it's about to be Royal Rumble, but you start getting in between the big pay-per-views, and I think Saturday night's main event's gotta put that out there at some point.
Well, and one of their main things at WWE is they're very predictable. I don't think any of these finishes would shock any of us.
Right.
And now we've got Shawn Michaels in the middle, the originator of the ladder match, even though it was Bret Hart's match. Shout out to all you Bret the Shitman Hart fans. Shawn Michaels still the better wrestler. It's not close. But anyway, Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, Winged Eagle, championship, Michaels in the middle. It is a contract signing, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? I bet you this goes just as planned. Everybody signs the contract with a little addendum, and there's no violence whatsoever. None.
I'm waiting for the next line because no.
You mean to tell me that there's going to be violence at a wrestling contract signing held in the
Not at
middle of
all.
a ring?
I know it's hard to believe.
No.
No, it's hard to
Never.
believe.
I just cannot.
Can I
take it.
can I ask why they're still doing this at 8 p.m.?
To annoy you.
Well, I mean, wasn't the original
9 or 10 o'clock because you had to get your
later?
parents' permission to stay your ass up
Right.
that late.
So
That's-
yeah,
And the main event always went on first because they wanted the
Right.
most people to watch
Right.
it before they sent everybody to bed.
and
that's
another
why the
thing,
show-
it's not as big and it has not taken the place of Saturday Night Live.
That's what she said.
She got you.
I was quick for that one. I'm like, hell yeah.
But the other thing, you're right there, Terry. The other thing is that's why you would see like one of the Saturday nights in main events ended with an Islanders tag match, but the
Right.
front half was it might have been the Hogan Andre thing. The Hogan Andre thing leads it off. They get 33 million people to watch the show.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
33 million people are not watching this show.
So I see what you mean about getting the hook. You need something huge to happen right at the
Right.
beginning of one of your shows, and that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, why not open with the women or I mean, you could open with the Intercontinental title.
Luchadors.
Yeah, but I mean, you can always open with the Luchadors. They got plenty of them over in AEW. I call them the Buck 50 Club. There's also a bunch of people over in AEW that are better Ricochets than Ricochet is at this point in terms of the flippy nonsense.
Hologram.
You know, I have a merchandise update for you both from last week. Pentagon Jr. never sold a mask in AEW in 5.5 years.
Yep.
They're on back order till April in the WWE.
Really?
Yes. But you cannot get a Penta Jr. mask until after April. They're going to make him a millionaire.
Oh,
Over
and
and again.
I did see, just throwing this out there, a little bit of a tangent, but it reminded me because of the Sting mask fiasco with me going to the bathroom. Sting tweeted today that after 2025, he will never go full gear again in public.
Yep. I saw that. Yeah, he's cutting doing the public appearances, won't be in full costume anymore.
Good for him. Live your life, man.
He basically said it's got to happen at some point, and let's
does.
2025 yet.
Well,
I
if you
like
guys
that.
remember too in TNA, it's not that weird. He used to wear sunglasses and he'd wear a jacket and stuff, but he wouldn't have the face paint on. So it's not like we haven't seen Sting without the
That's
paint.
true.
But can you imagine how long that takes? How much damage it might have done to his skin over the years? I mean, you're painted for.
Oh,
when
his
you start
skin is.
86,
I
85.
have seen his
somewhere in
skin
there.
up close. It is not good.
Yeah,
And I don't mean that up close, just up close.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I think you see violence in this match with the Kevin Owens and Cody thing.
Yeah.
They're doing this quote on-site thing where they just can't stand each other so much they're going to beat each other up. I think the intrigue to this is what is this damn addendum that Nick Aldis has put into the contract because we don't know.
Right.
If you watch SmackDown Friday, we don't know what that is yet. He's never said what it is. So
Could it have something to do with the belts or
the belt or Roman or Punk?
Ooh.
Oh God, Punk.
Oh
Ugh.
God.
Ugh.
You
So-
Be a
crack me up.
scaffold match. Big
You-
surprise.
We're gonna get out of this and into the top 10. But before you do, because of the subject tonight,
Mhm.
your predictions.
Good. I'm glad you did
We're
this.
not, we're not going to discuss it because you guys are going to be gone. We'll talk about that in a minute. Your predictions for the Royal Rumbles, men and women. Who do you guys see winning the Royal Rumbles? Now, as a reminder, the men's Rumble, Roman is confirmed, Cena is confirmed, Rollins, McIntyre, Punk, Jimmy Uso or Jay Uso, which doesn't make sense because he's wrestling Gunther, but he's confirmed in the Rumble. Who do you guys think is going to win the Royal Rumble?
I would love to say Jay Uso because I said that kind of earlier, but that's some big names for him to have to for somebody to have to eliminate and for him to have to finish them off. That's tough. I hadn't thought about this a whole lot. I don't think Cena's going to win it. I think when he did a little bit of a speech where he said Royal Rumble or King of the Ring or
Money in the
or
Bank.
Money in the Bank. I think there's plenty of opportunities later in the year. I don't think Royal Rumble is it. No, I don't want to say Roman, but I think that
I'm gonna say
I'll go with
Roman. Yeah, I was gonna say Roman as well.
Roman. Okay.
As much as I would love the Tribal Chief, throw the ones up to win, I'm going to go with the man I hate more than life itself.
CM Punk?
Oh, yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. I hate him
Alright.
not more than life. That was not the right way I was going to say it. I said because you love life. The man I hate more than AEW, the company he effectively ruined, CM Punk.
Okay.
The
For
CM Punk
women,
ruined AEW, and I will follow up with anybody on that. You want to send me a tweet at 30-year
I was
fan.
gonna say.
I will tell you about how he destroyed AEW with his nonsense.
All right, women's. I think it's going to be one of two because I don't know which one is going to come back first. It's going to be Charlotte or Becky.
You don't get to pick two. You get to pick one.
All right,
I know.
then I'm going to pick Becky. I'm going to pick
I
Becky.
was going to say I know which one Terry's picking.
Yeah, I'm picking Becky.
No, we're both picking Roman and Becky then. Here we go.
And
I just want her back. I
I'm
do.
picking Charlotte because she's been gone for
Yeah.
so long.
Yeah.
And you can do the Battle of the Blondes, or she can wrestle Rhea.
See, I want
And
Becky. I want Becky and Rhea.
She can officially pass the torch
That'd be good stuff.
to the rightful owner
Mm.
of the queen of women's wrestling, Rhea Ripley.
Oh, I like that, Andrew.
I told you I'm available for booking. Call me. And Tony, if you're not paying six figures, don't call me because you're an idiot. But anyway, Royal Rumble coming up February the 1st. First time, Terry, ever in the history of the event that it's been in February. Second little note, it was created to fuck with Jim Crockett Promotions back in the day and go head-to-head with Clash of Champions. So there's that. Or was it Bunkhouse Stampede? When was the first Royal Rumble? 80.
It was Bunkhouse Stampede.
So it was Bunkhouse Stampede in New York that it was designed to screw with, not
Right.
Clash of Champions.
Which to me was always weird because it's like everybody wear their blue jeans.
Yep. So it was the Bunkhouse Stampede because then they did the Royal Rumble or they did Clash Champions of WrestleMania 4, I believe it was, at the same time. Anywho, was totally designed. Hacksaw Jim Duggan wins the first one. Big John Studd, then Hulk Hogan twice. Well, you thought I was going to keep going, Alice?
I
92
did.
was-
I'm like, I know he can do it.
92 was Ric
So.
Flair. 93 was Yokozuna. 94
We
was
don't have
Bret
all night here. I'm falling
95
asleep
was Shawn,
already.
96 was Shawn, 97 was Austin, 98 was Austin, 99 was McMahon, 2000 was Rock, 01 was Austin,
So a lot of those were predictable, but
02
sometimes
was
there were
Triple
some
H.
surprises.
Woo!
Big surprises, Terry.
And why don't we talk about some surprises? Because tonight we're going to rank the top 10 surprise Royal Rumble entrants. Thanks everybody for voting.
Yes, definitely, because this was a little bit more difficult than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Particularly as you said, Terry, as we always talk about criteria.
Yeah.
What is a surprise and what is not a surprise?
Yeah, because in my head I'm like Johnny Knoxville. But then I realized Johnny Knoxville talked shit for a month before the Royal Rumble that he was going to win it. That wasn't a surprise. That was just a celebrity in the Royal Rumble. So he's not included.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I picked a lot of times when we have our lists. If it's a good list, I start picking them before I rank them, and I get up to about 13 or 14. This list, I think I got up to 7, and then I'm like, oh crap, I got to pick 3 more.
We do have an explanation for this, Bober.
She wasn't a surprise.
There were 90 suggestions. We picked the ones that we thought were the best surprises, and I believe Mickie James was on an initial list.
No, I looked this up on purpose. She was not a surprise. The fact that she wore the belt was a surprise.
Okay. She might have been on a list that I saw, the one we were talking about. Because I swear I saw Mickie James, Terry. But it doesn't matter. You're right. She wore the TNA belt to the WWE ring. So, or was the NWA belt. TNA.
I thought we always just blame Terry when things don't make sense.
No, we don't blame Terry.
Blame me. I don't care.
This is the science behind the list, guys. This is inside baseball. 93 options. That is not an exaggeration. We got a spreadsheet from Terry. It says, which ones do we include in the list? Allison voted, I voted, and Terry voted. Because this is, as I like to say, our show. And then we turn it over to you guys with what we picked for you to vote on. And that's the science behind TNA Top 10.
Well, let's run it down. Let's start with number 10.
What top votes? Top. There you go.
Just missed the list. Yeah, I know. We always get to this point and somebody goes, they were in my top 5. Yeah, so
that was my number 1, damn it.
Triple H was a genuine surprise, and quit being a Piper Mark over there.
And Roddy Piper in 08, Trish Stratus.
I know you didn't mean Trish Stratus, for God's sake. Come on.
And
now.
Triple H in 2016.
Triple H, if you remember, won the 16 Royal Rumble, and like the 92 Royal Rumble, by winning it, became the world champion so that he could have Roman beat him at the ensuing WrestleMania.
That's a good list, though, for the Just Missed the List.
Which leads me to believe we have a very good surprise list here.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, let's look at it. Number 10, Beth Phoenix in 2020. And I couldn't find a really clear picture of this. This was like the worst picture of the whole thing. It's real blurry.
Is that now Beth Fiery Bird since we have Cope?
Oh, God, probably.
Bober says Trish was 9th on my list. Well, Bober, we can't all be perfect. Like me, Terry, and Alex.
I loved Beth Phoenix, so seeing this was great. I'm always tickled pink to see veterans, so this made me happy.
And I think it genuinely worked as a surprise.
Oh, yeah.
Because nobody had seen her for a long time. She had been an NXT announcer, but had not done any in-ring work. The same night, her husband is going to return, and he may or may not be on this list. So there you go.
All right.
What do you think about Beth? You like Beth, Terry?
I like Beth, but see, you got to remember, for those that don't know, I stopped watching in '99, and I came back in 2019. So I either have to watch old shows with Beth Phoenix on there. I wasn't a fan, an active fan, while she was in her prime.
Gotcha. Yeah, because she was late 2000s, early 10s, that was her thing. But she's phenomenal. Phenomenal wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Great physique. Who's
Mhm.
number 9, Terry?
Number 9, Christian from 2021.
Yeah.
And he's talking to the dogs now.
The dog is licking the other dog's ear. So we're trying to work here, and they're over there just being loud and obnoxious and getting no attention today, apparently. Christian in 2021. Why do I think that he was an AEW return and I missed this completely?
AEW was after this.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't have any recollection of him wrestling in WWE after the injury. Was this also a COVID year where they didn't have fans in the building? Then I don't remember.
No, but January they might have.
I think so because, see, I think this was the only one where they didn't have fans in the building because 2020 was before COVID hit because it was in January. So I think that, and this is the reason when I was reading up on this in articles, they're like, this would probably be a bigger deal, but it was in front of nobody.
Yeah.
And it might be why I don't remember it, which is why I asked the question, because during the COVID year, I was watching a lot more AEW because I appreciated their presentation far better than I appreciated what WWE was doing until they figured out the Thunderdome stuff, you know? Just an opinion.
Our fact checker, Bober, has confirmed that 2021 was without fans.
Well, he's our new fact checker. We had an old one, but he's not participating any longer. Who's number 8, Terry?
Number 8, Lita from 2018. And let me tell you, this is the only action shot because I could not pick her just walking down the aisle when this was available.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Lita got a good pop. I think she was in for a little while.
Yeah, in 2018, I guess that's the first women's Royal Rumble.
Sounds right.
So I believe that like 2/3 of the entrants were surprises that year because there was a huge list of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But again, not on our list. There wasn't a huge bunch of them.
Yeah, we wiped out most of those.
Yeah, later.
For you.
Because the whole idea is surprise. And the one thing none of us have talked about, because it's true, social media has ruined, in a lot of ways, the Royal Rumble.
Absolutely.
Because everybody wants to tweet or leak. I saw so-and-so in the airport. You always get to see CM Punk picture, which is a joke at this point. But, you know, like, we're going to get to a few of them, I'm sure. Well, the Trish one was leaked, I believe, on Twitter before she ever made it to the Royal Rumble. So, anyway, just thought. Number 7, lucky number 7, Terry, is it another woman?
Number 7, Bad Bunny.
Hell yeah.
2022.
There we go. I like Bad Bunny.
I love everything.
2022 is St. Louis, is that correct?
Maybe. Sure. He was the best celebrity wrestler. I would say it's Logan Paul, then Bad Bunny. But that's, again, just an opinion, folks. But Bad Bunny was fantastic in the ring. Good presence.
I definitely think you can tell when the celebrity wrestlers enjoy what they're doing. That's what Logan Paul and Bad Bunny to me had that others just did not. They were so invested in honing their craft. Like they wanted to be a wrestler and it showed.
And they wanted it to work.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Like I mean, we got the Drew Carey in 2001. I hope I'm not stealing anybody's thunder. We'll get there. But like Drew Carey was only going to be able to do X, Y, and Z. He was not going to be able to do what Bad Bunny or Logan Paul or some of these other guys have been, or Johnny Knoxville even have been able to do. Because, I mean, you don't have to like what Johnny Knoxville did on Jackass, but you talk about somebody who's basically fearless, and him and that whole crew.
Oh, yeah.
Bunch of damn idiots.
Yeah.
But, you know, anyway, good pick, Terry. Who's number 6? And then we get to the top 5.
Number 6, Rhea Ripley in 2019.
I was there for this.
Coming up from NXT, is that correct?
Yes.
I believe so, yeah. That's why it was such a big deal.
Absolutely. I was third row for this, and I lost my shit when she came out. Oh, she
Back
the
when we got
whole
them good tickets, y'all.
back when I had friends with connections. Woo.
Hey, listen, on the resale market right now, no BS. One day of WrestleMania, I believe, is 700 nosebleed. Or maybe it's 2 days. It's 2 days, 700 nosebleed. Right
Really?
now.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. It's freaking 250 to get anywhere close to the ring for just a regular old show. 750 ain't that much. For
I was
two
gonna
But
say
nights.
it was almost 500 for front row when the last time they were here for Raw, and I wasn't gonna pay it.
Yeah. Yeah, the ticket that's becoming an issue with the fans on the online presence, our internet
Mm.
wrestling community. But anyway, expensive. Number 5, top 5, Terry, are on the board.
Number 5, Jordan Grace from
Oh.
last year. Now this was a surprise.
Might be
This
another
is a
surprise
match.
this year.
Yep.
She just finished up with Tessa Blanchard. I'm glad you mentioned Jordan. Tessa, Jordan, fantastic match. Tessa Blanchard has more baggage than fucking Delta. But I will say this. She's arguably one of the best women wrestlers in the world.
Yeah.
But she's got more baggage than Delta Airlines. And it's not close for you talk about a CM Punk of a female talent, probably her.
Yeah.
Probably her. She's one foul swoop away from being blacklisted from the wrestling business forever. So one bad step. But her match with Jordan Grace takes 2 to dance, and Jordan held her end up Saturday. It was a great match. And
Yeah,
this was a great surprise.
And when she came in, she was impressive in the ring. It wasn't just her showing up and being there. She went in the ring and she did stuff.
Until she had to hug that hideous Naomi, whose work sucks, and she's only there because she's married to Jimmy. But whatever.
I'm a huge fan of Jordan Grace, so I was thrilled to see her. And
Look at her.
Well,
Yeah.
so I met Jordan in oh God, when was the first Starcast? 2018?
19 or 18.
I met
18.
her at the first one, and we hit it off. She was so sweet. She looked nothing like this. When I
Right.
tell
Yeah,
you,
definitely.
she looked nothing like this. The dedication and the work that this woman has put in, amazing. I'm so glad to see her succeeding.
Yep. Yeah, it's fantastic. And she's going to have a lot of potential. This is new the story is that she's finished up with TNA. She is coming to WWE. There's already a TNA WWE partnership anyway. She's already been in the WWE last year, like the Rumble and a couple of other matches on NXT. She has a roster of women she can work with. This could be an excellent performing year for Jordan Grace.
Yep.
And well deserved. Well deserved.
Let's go to number 4, AJ Styles 2016.
Hard to beat. Came in at number 3. Came in with his music, You Don't Want None. And he lasted a very long time, mom hair and all.
Hey, he paid for that hair, all right?
He's got the bob. But, he was hot because, he was TNA's homegrown talent from 2002 to 13 or 14, went to New Japan, became the leader of the Bullet Club, became the IWGP World Champion, made even more of a name for himself, turned it over to Kenny Omega on his way out the door, which is Japanese tradition, shows up at the Royal Rumble 2016, and he's been with the company ever since. AJ Styles, a talent that did it from the bottom, and he has been to the top. And this was a great surprise. This one they kept under wraps. If I remember correctly, nobody knew he was going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And Dixie Carter fucked up him re-signing with TNA. And that was really stupid. But anyway.
Let's talk top 3. Number 3, the
Three
three
faces
faces
of
of
Foley.
Foley. Now, technically, there's technicality here. Okay, so Cactus Jack was announced.
Yeah.
The other 2 guys were the surprises. So
Do you remember who
Cactus
Cactus Jack opened up with, Terry?
Chainsaw Charlie in this?
Yeah,
one?
Terry Funk.
Yeah.
And they had like a wild hardcore brawl to start the Royal
Yeah.
Rumble.
Oh wow!
Yeah, 1998.
I think I have
It
to go
was-
back and watch this one.
It was absolutely great. And then JR, Mrs. Foley's baby boy, gonna do the three-peat or whatever he said on commentary, you know. It was great. Great. And you know, you were surprised. Now, you could say he had 2 surprise entrances, but once you saw the second character, you
Oh,
knew
yeah.
we were
You
getting
knew the third was coming.
character.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think so. When I started watching wrestling again, I got the WWE network, and there were 2 things that I watched all the way through. The studio show from WCW and NWA. And also, I watched every Royal Rumble match straight through every year because I thought I need to learn some people that I never saw. The Royal Rumble was a great way to do that. So I came back and I watched all of them. And I believe when I saw the 98 one, when I saw that he was there, number 2 or 1 or whatever he was, I thought, you know what they could do is have him do all 3. I figured it out pretty dang early.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Oh, and it was fun, you know, and
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Good stuff.
All right.
top
So
2. Who's
if
the
you're paying
runner-up, Terry?
attention, if you're paying attention, you probably know what these 2 are. And I will tell you, every time somebody voted, these top 2 swapped because they dominated every other choice. Number 2, John Cena, 2008.
Dun, 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 dun.
And he came back so early.
From the
and
pec
that was the
tear.
big surprise here. Yeah.
Yep. He had that torn pec with the match with Orton in 07, and he was back in 3 months or 4 months.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Instead of 8 months. It was stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he
And
won the
Triple
Rumble.
H is looking at him and he's just smirking at Triple H. It's great.
Because I believe this is in New York City too. I think.
I'm not sure where, but it's the one I really liked the format because the hard cam was looking right across the ring at where they entered for the 08 Rumble. I loved it.
It just looks like MSG to me.
Hold on.
I might have that wrong.
All right, Bover's all over.
Madison Square
MSG.
Garden. Good job.
It looks like MSG. But the deal with Cena though is it was again a genuine surprise. Here's the thing as a wrestling fan though. Once Cena came out, we all knew he was winning the Rumble.
Oh yeah. But I mean, you know, we grew up with Hogan. You knew what was going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, Terry had the formula, baby. Not Terry Weaver, but Terry Bollea.
That's
The
right.
three punch, the Hulk up, the 3 punches, the big boot, the leg drop. Hogan must pose. He posed longer than he wrestled most matches. Let's be honest.
All right, what's number 1?
Number
You know
1,
who
and
number
it
1
should
is.
be a surprise. Edge from 2020.
That is interesting to me. Edge was a very good surprise. I will
He
not
edged
call
out
him.
John Cena.
I will not call him Cope because that's fucking dumb. Not a good play there, Dawkins or Copeland or Tony Khan.
Or Beth Phoenix. How the hell did you let your husband do that?
Yeah, exactly. She's fired too.
Is this the one where he did a great spear and they moved the camera off of it right before it happened?
It might have been, yeah. Because he did not win this Rumble, but he was in like the final 4. And
Yeah.
then him and Randy Orton went to WrestleMania and had the greatest match ever for 46 freaking minutes. And nobody was there to see it. Because this is
Oh,
COVID.
yeah. Is this the
This
one
is
where
the
they're like
COVID.
walking on top of like a bus in the back or something
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just like the
God,
money-
yeah.
Just like the Money in the Bank that year was done at the headquarters, if you guys
Oh,
remember.
Yes, I remember
was
that.
fun. Oh, yeah. Then Otis got screwed over later in the year.
Yep.
But yeah,
That's right.
on this day, and when his music hit though, everybody knew, and it was a big pop, and that was what everybody wanted.
Yeah.
So
I wish I had recorded that. I would make that your ringtone. Damn it. gonna have to screen cap it.
gotta
We
be-
are
you gotta-
recording this,
Yeah, I was
ma'am.
gonna say.
Did you forget?
You got to be quick on the draw there, Allison.
Oh.
And we are recording this, ma'am. That's what he said.
Oh, speaking of that, I've got to cut up some video that we recorded about a month ago. But anyway,
I have Clip Champ. If you need assistance, let me know. Terry, run it down for us. Top 10 on the board.
let me make sure it's in the right order because this did change pretty late in the game. So number 10, Beth Phoenix from 2020. Number 9, Christian from 2021. Number 8, Lita from 2018. Number 7, Bad Bunny from 2022. The only celebrity showing in the top 10. Number 6, Rhea Ripley from 2019. Number 5, Jordan Grace from 2024. Number 4, AJ Styles from 2016. Number 3, fittingly, the Three Faces of Foley from 1998. Number 2, John Cena from 2008. And if I got the breath to say it, number 1, Edge. Edge is out the competition with his 2020 surprise entrance.
Har.
I
Dad
I said
joke.
it twice.
Dad joke. So yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? It was yesterday. No, it was Tuesday. Was it Tuesday?
I don't know. What are you
I
gonna
don't
tell
know what we're talking about.
We're talking about Palmwater Dave and Amy talking wrestling.
us?
It was
they-
Tuesday this week.
She's
They reviewed
Sure.
TNA
Oh.
Genesis. And that's right, it was because me and Medusa were off this week. TNA Genesis reviewed, they did jar ratings on the favorite movies. And of course, we got to talk about big time belts, high quality, low prices, sponsor of the Ram Network, fantasy football. Apparently, that awful Timmy C won it. Home delivery to McDonald's while the ice cream machine is working, thanks to Miss Amy. That's what Dave said. I didn't say any of that. I'm repeating what I heard on his show. He said he won't mailing it to him. He was giving it to Amy,
he's getting it in person next weekend.
who would
Yeah, he
then be
actually-
responsible to pick it up and take it to Murray, Kentucky at the drive-thru. And the only place in the world the ice cream machine does not break if you're a McDonald's franchise. Anywho, Big Time Belts did the belt. They did the belt for the game event that will be given away potentially, ad-free shows, designed by the one and only JD Hoop. Obviously, Efren is involved. It's his platform, it's his game. But JD Hoop, the creator, the mastermind behind so much of what you guys see in professional wrestling, and may not be even aware that it's him that does it because he doesn't get vocal or boisterous or anything like that. So
Very humble guy for what he does, for sure.
That's
very
correct.
much so. And Dave says it the way I love it most: talent on loan from God. Best way to describe what JD
Really
Hoop
good.
It's very good. Final announcement. We're out of here because we're 7 minutes and 40 seconds over. You're welcome, Allison. We're keeping the clock here. We're moving days
Yes.
because football season is over.
Until
So-
soccer practice moves us again.
Until soccer practice
Yeah.
screws it up, we will be here Thursdays,
Thursdays.
8 Eastern, 7 Central. I guess that'd be 5 Pacific for our fans out on
show.
the West Coast. One show, 60 to 90 minutes max. You'll be with us, ask questions, bring it, like, subscribe, and share because
Right.
we would like to be back on the Facebook platform, but we have to hit a threshold, folks, to do that. So tell your
Now-
friends.
We're not going to have a show next week, right?
That is
That is
correct.
correct.
You're all
Okay.
traveling and you have a dinner reservation.
Are we going to be eating dinner on Thursday night next week?
So
I'll
you will
make
not
sure.
be. We will not be here. I will be by my lonesome, crying at the gym because all my friends have
We'll
abandoned
send you
me.
We're
big-
gonna be
the
crying
menu.
without you.
So,
Don't send him the
um,
menu. Don't send
Oh
him the menu.
man, he'll be jealous if we send.
Yeah,
him
don't
the
send
menu.
it to him. That's not
I have the Charlie's menu, March the 14th, 8 o'clock, Tampa, Florida. I am not jealous of anybody because I got the Charlie's menu.
That's right. I know exactly where to take you.
And I'm currently researching 4 or 5 other stops.
Yes.
So anyway, that's it. And Medusa and I launched, just for information, our new season of Paving the Way, new format, YouTube, every other Tuesday. And we will be back the 28th. That's this Tuesday at 8 o'clock. We're going to talk about the Menendez brothers. So we're not talking about wrestling.
Oh, I love it.
Talk about the Menendez brothers.
Good deal.
Okay.
So we're gonna change it up. She wants to talk about stuff other than wrestling, and they're about to be resentenced. Didn't know if y'all knew that.
No.
But that's why the documentaries were so timely. They've been in prison for 30 years for murdering their parents, and now they're about to be resentenced because of mitigating circumstances and all of the other things. So they may be out of prison.
Wow.
Next month thereafter. Did avoid the death penalty, but his life. But we're going to talk about the crime, the trial, the mitigating circumstances, why Leslie Abramson was the most hated woman in America. That was their defense attorney, for those of you wanting to play along at home. But it's available on YouTube, Twitch, and the X Gimmick at 8 o'clock Tuesday.
And before we close, I have one more thing. Even though he doesn't watch this, I'm going to wish my son a very happy early 18th birthday. My young man becomes an adult and I am not ready. We're going to celebrate in New York City this weekend and I'm very excited. He's very excited. He texted me during the show telling me how excited he was. And for anybody who knows my son, the fact that he voluntarily texted me on his own, like not replying back to something, means he's really excited. So,
well, you're not special, man. He's a teenager and you're his mom. So there's that. But you know.
Yeah, all right.
But he's excited.
He's excited. He's very excited. I'm excited. So,
and that's awesome. And a happy birthday to my man Lex, who I will not say this. Well, he's not going to Huntsville anyway, but
no, he doesn't get to do those kinds of things yet.
Well, he probably doesn't want to. Have you heard the language we use as wrestling?
That's exactly correct. Yes.
Yeah, especially when you get us all sipping on something.
No swearing, as he tells me.
No swearing. No foul language.
No foul language. Yeah, no foul language.
That's what he says to Andrew. No foul language.
What an old man. I love him.
All right.
Happy birthday, Lex.
Thank you.
It's been good getting back to one show tonight. And happy birthday to Lex, obviously.
Thank you.
Gonna be an adult.
I know.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. Anybody that's listening on the audio, there will not be a second audio drop for football this week. It's just the one show for the foreseeable future. We will be skipping next week, as Andrew said, because we're going to be doing some fun stuff, or Allison and I will. And we'll miss Andrew along the way there, but we will be back in a couple of weeks. And you got any ideas, just send them to us. Maybe we'll find some energy to really push forward on some revamping, so to speak.
February the 6th, we will be back.
February the 6th.
Awesome.
February the 6th. And you can bet your bottom dollar we're going to find out if CM Punk did or did not win the Royal Rumble.
And if Becky or Charlotte came back, woo!
And we will talk about it. But no, y'all travel safe and enjoy yourselves next week, if that's possible, if you're going to the Von Braun, to enjoy yourself for that awful AEW. But anyway.
That's right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for your ideas. Thanks for your votes. And as always, love your people. Tell them you love them. Make it weird. See you next time, everybody.